Good day. Welcome to State of the Matters. Today we'll bring you the latest breaking news across Nigeria, from urgent update to insightful analysis. We'll guide you through the stories that matters. Now let's get started. Peter Obi, Kwankwaso storm NDC Secretariat for membership confirmation. Re-election moves. Rivers elders back Fubara. Plateau Christian leaders accuse army of escorting militias. I am Tony, and we'll be right back after this break. Don't move a muzzle. Welcome back to the show, State of the Matters. A lot of questions have been flooding the minds of Nigerians regarding the recent defection of Peter Obi and Kwankwaso from the ADC to the NDC. To further help us break down these headlines and help answer some of your questions is a political analyst, Okoro Vincent. Good to have you join us, Vincent.
Thank you, Cassie. It's my pleasure, as always.
Yeah, as always, a pleasure having you. So, considering the recent defection of Peter Obi from the ADC to the NDC, we're talking about survival move. A lot of analysts and political analysts say that this move is a courageous and a wise move, considering the fact that they refer it to legal trapped. And Peter Obi, in one of his statements, said it is actually a legal trap, that it is a trap from the opposition parties.
That is leading to reaction.
Exactly.
The defection moves that we have seen
to weaken his
across the political landscape.
Ambition. So do you think the opposition have a hand in all this crisis? You know, when we're talking about crisis in political parties, we're talking about the one that happened in Labour Party that made Peter Obi to defect from the Labour Party to the ADC, and then the recent one that is happening in the ADC that has made him to also move to the NDC. So are the oppositions do they have a hand in this crisis?
Okay, first and foremost, Peter Obi movement, I wonder if there is a single individual in Nigeria who is abreast with the political realities, not just in the immediate, I mean our past antecedents. If there's anyone that is surprised that Obi decided to move once more from the ADC to Nigerian Democratic Congress as it is today. First, because I don't think there's any politician who would have done the same thing. Because what Obi has done, to me, is, I can refer to it as a doctrine of necessity.
Okay.
Then we should also look at the person that we are talking about. We should also look at the character of the man that we are talking about. This is somebody that has, by and large, make all Nigerians understand that he is not a person for disorderliness, for lawlessness, and by and large is not equally known for that. Now, who will expect a man of his standing to be in a house that is divided against itself? Now, when you trace his antecedents of how he moved from the PDP, let me not even talk about Afghan anyway. Okay. Let me start from the PDP to NDC as it is today. Now, in the PDP, you remember that during the 2023 election, towards the 2023 election, we found a lot of actors in the PDP who were going against the constitution of the party. You saw a lot of players in PDP who, by and large, were trying to invent what will suit them that is not in their constitution. A lot of players in the PDP who were doing things not considering what is accepted by the generality of the membership of PDP, but what is accepted by they themselves as individuals. And then when it came to a point where the leaders or the players in PDP were not ready to listen to voice of reason, the only option left for him was to leave. Then he went to the Labour Party. Unfortunately, if you ask me as a citizen of this country, we had opportunity with the Labour Party when Obi moved to that particular political party. But at the end of the day, some individualistic element in the Labour Party started dividing the party against itself again. And what we're supposed to be looking at as consolidation on the success of Labour Party after the 2023 election has led to a near death of that party right now, because they got to a point where Obi and some other members of the party, who I can refer to as being well-meaning, have to leave the party for those who decide that the party cannot move forward together on a united front. Now, we thought that the ADC is a home, is a platform that finally will bring together, what we refer to as opposition elements that are going to unite. If not for anything, make the current ruling class, the current ruling party and its leaders and our leaders to sit up for once. If not for anything, we expected that we have a new opposition in the bloc that will really challenge the status quo, not just challenge the status quo, make the current leadership, especially at the federal level, to sit up. Just for nowhere, we started seeing can of worms again among the ADC. From one court case to another, one element will bring up issues today, this other person will come up opposing this other person. And then the kind of person that Peter Obi is, as we know him, he always makes us understand that he's a man of peace. He always makes us understand he's a man of principle. He always makes us understand that he does not operate in Fuji House of Commotion. He always makes us understand that he cannot be in a house that is more of a banana republic. So what do you expect of him? So that is why we see him. I'm coming to your question. I just want to lay a background of our story. Now that's why you see him that, okay, what he can do right now is to look at another political party that their vision or its vision or the vision of the founder align with his own. Now, if you go back to the founder and the most prominent figure in NDC today, which is the person of the former governor of Bayelsa State, you will find out that if you go back to his opening speech when himself, I think he is the founder or he defected to that particular party.
He founded the
Yeah,
party.
when he founded the party, he made bold statements and make Nigeria to understand that we are going to see something that we have never seen before when it comes to opposition and when we come to party platform in which Nigerians like you and I can actually aspire. Now, it wasn't a surprise to me personally when I saw Obi moving to the NDC. In fact, the direction they are going, how they have been received by generality of Nigeria, you begin to ask yourself, why exactly did he even move to the ADC in the first place? But mind you, it was actually, the leaders of ADC, as they were, rallied around him for him to come and join them so that they can move the party forward and in extension move Nigeria forward. But unfortunately, that didn't happen. So now, coming to the issue of elements of the opposition, planting seed of discourse, in all these parties from PDP to APC, to ADC to Labour Party, you cannot discountenance that. We cannot rule out the fact that this is how politics is played in this part of the world, especially in Nigeria, as the case here. Now, that is more reason why Obi really needed, a clean platform, if you may ask me. Because number one, how many of the normal and usual Nigerian politicians can you say is in the ADC today? It's in the NDC today. Now, you can say, okay, Siraki ADC was a senator, he was a governor, he was this, he was that. Excuse me. This man had the chance to have joined the APC without anybody opposing him. Without, let's assume he aspired to become a minister, he's aspiring to become a senator, he's aspiring to become president of the country tomorrow and what have you. You ordinarily think that the APC provides him a better platform or a more viable platform. But what did he do? He went on a clean slate. So why should anyone be surprised that Peter Obi, a company of Kwankwason and other prominent politicians, and especially the lawmakers, as we were meant to understand, how we see this thing in the ADC today. I think that should not surprise anyone. So, in other words, the seed of discord, the problems, using the court, using the instrument of the state, to destabilize the opposition, we are really hoping that we are not going to see that in the ADC. And then, to me, Peter will be moving to the ADC. It's a welcome development.
All right, thank you, Vincent, for that analysis. In your analysis, you stated a lot of things, which in one of your statements, you said that Peter Obi is a man of peace, and he's not a man that likes to stay in a house where
that
there's
is divided
commotion.
against itself. Yes.
And a lot of critics or a lot of citizens are saying that for a man who cannot resolve problems in his household, how are we sure that he's capable of resolving Nigerian issues? Take, for instance, he defected from PDP, like you mentioned, to the Labour Party, from Labour Party to the ADC because of crisis, and he couldn't resolve all those crises. If perhaps he becomes a president, how are we guaranteed that when crises arise in Nigeria, he'll be able to tackle that? And then secondly, you also talked about Seraki Dixon, that Seraki Dixon said NDC is a party that will see what we have never seen before. It's a party that will see what the Nigerians have never seen before. The NDC now, critics also say that the party is not is not legally registered. That's the NDC. That's after Kwankwaso and Obi has joined the party. That the NDC is not properly registered.
Yes.
And then thirdly, Kwankwaso in his statement said that the NDC resonates with their ideas. That's their political ideas, which has to do with
political
education.
and leadership ideas.
Yes, which has to do with education and youth empowerment, that the NDC align perfectly well with their ideas. Now, does it mean that the ADC and the Labour Party did not align with their ideas?
Okay, having alignment of ideas is subjective, if you ask me. It's subjective. It depends on what you see or what you interpret when it comes to the ideas of one person aligning with the other. Then we can also look at the extent to which the ideas of two persons or two parties align. Because ideas have its elements. There are elements that makes up ideas. So then there may be some element in the ideas of a particular person that may be absent in another.
Okay.
For example, Peter Obi has always made us understand that he envisioned a society, he envisioned a country that will move from consumption-based economy that it is today to a production-based economy. Now, that is an idea. Now, executing that idea, what will it mean? Now, what executing that idea will mean for Mr. A could be different from what it will mean for Mr. B. For example, a government can decide to go into establishment of industry for mass production. While another government or another leader may look at human capital development as a way of attaining that production attaining that consumption to production. Now, what I mean is this: if as a government that I am, I can take the short part of establishment of industry, then let us flood the place and let production start, let conversion of raw material to finished product start. Now, what that means is that within a short time, let's say within the 2-3 years of my administration, everywhere we flooded with industries. Now, compare that to the person that decided to attain the same goal or execute the same idea with human capital development by investing in our education system. Then what that means is that if my child is going to school to begin year 1 today in the university, we are going to see the result of that my investment and the investment of our government in that child after 4 years. Then let's say a government will now say, okay, let us develop the entrepreneurial system of our universities so that before my child graduates, he already knows that I'm not going to look for work. Rather, I'm going to even be an employer of labor. And if you have a lot of our youths coming out of the school like that, then you will see, what is it called? And you see jobs everywhere. You will see industries springing up. You will see startups everywhere. Now you see that in the long run, both ideas are heading to the same place. But the ideas now that align as far consumption to production is concerned, they are heading to the same place at the long run. But the path to achieving it is different in the two for the two angle. Then we're also looking at just the other part of the question that you asked.
That the Labour Party, the NDC, is not legally registered.
Okay, good. Now we are talking about legal registration. First and foremost, are we supposed to be paying attention to that at this time? Number two, the person that is trying to bring up this particular issue, is he a member of the NDC? Was it there when the NDC was being registered? When did he suddenly wake up to start telling Nigerians to pay attention that the NDC is not registered? So we should be waiting for the leadership of the NDC to come up. Now, there is something very, very important that Nigerians are not paying attention, not even Nigerians now, that those opposition elements that keep on planting what we are now calling seed of discord in wherever Obi goes to, there are things that they are not giving attention. They are thinking that Obi is a bad political party. Obi himself is a movement. We are not talking where, if you are looking at Obi as a member of a political party, as a basis to destabilize him, you may be making mistake. Now, Obi move here today, you think that there's a particular loophole that you use to destabilize him. Remember, when he was in PDP, his followership was organic. He moved to the Labour Party. We saw the tremendous support he enjoyed. When he moved to the ADC, it was when he moved to the ADC that Nigerians began to know that seriously there's a party called ADC. Now, today, in the lives of Nigerians in the streets, it is NDC that we are talking about. So, how does somebody decide that a political party is not registered in order to thwart the fortunes of Peter Obi? So, to me, that is neither here or there, but more importantly, the leadership of NDC, please, what is needed to be done, what is necessary for them to be done, they should put their house in order. We have already seen that that party was founded by someone that have come to tell Nigerians that we are going to see something different. Now, someone that Nigerians can rely upon as having the same ideas as the founders of that party have come to join them. They should not let Nigerians down by opening their house for opposition elements that don't mean well for them and this country to infiltrate them.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Vincent. So we'll look at pressure deadline. The INEC has set May 30th as a deadline for the submission of membership list. Now we've seen Peter Obi and Kwankwaso joining the NDC at this point. Do you think that the NDC has the capacity to prepare for the massive obedience and Kwankwasia movement under 30 days?
Without any iota of doubt, we have seen it already. We have seen it already that both the party and the followership of Obi Kwankwasia, and then I can also add Dixon Sia, because if you ask me, Siriake Dixon, any well-meaning Nigerian who is tired of the system as it were today, haven't listened to Dixon during the formation of this party. He already have people that believe in him and the ideas of the party already. And mind you, that is why today it was very, very easy for the public, or let me say a large chunk of the public, to move along with Obi, because they already have idea of where he is going to. That's why we are having the kind of turnout that we are seeing now across the country. Whether you're talking about the northern sphere, you are talking about the south, or you are talking about the middle belt, you are talking about our states. In fact, even beyond the shores of this country, we are seeing it already. Now, all that is needed now is for action. Action and action. And I don't see the reason why all that needs to be done cannot be done. But more importantly, as I said earlier, it is very important that please they put their house in order, so that at least Nigeria needs a formidable opposition, so that the government of the day cannot and should not and will not continue to take citizens of this country and the country for granted
All right.
when it comes to purposeful leadership.
Thank you, Vincent. We hope as the story unfolds, more updates will be coming prior to this report.
That's fine.
Away from that to Rivers developments that just happened, we're looking at people's mandate and strategic defection. Prior to this time, Rivers State has always been a PDP state before the current governor, Fubara, defected to the APC. Now, the people has nominated him. They've purchased a nomination form for him. That's elders and stakeholders under the platform of the APC. Considering the fact that Rivers State has always been a PDP state, do you think that this defection to the APC
by the
where the
governor
stakeholders has nominated him, do you think this is going to hold?
Now, you are looking at it first and foremost on the part between APC and PDP. Fortunately or unfortunately, we have not even come to that. The reason is that we are talking about nomination form for the governor by these stakeholders. We are not talking about primary coming and going, and then the governor is now the flag bearer of the APC. We have not come to that yet. Now, we are just talking about nomination form. Now, what that means is that this nomination form is going to be carried by the governor, and then if there's anything as the governor becoming the flag bearer, it may come in two ways. Either he will be coming unopposed, or he's going to be facing other opposition. And of course, you know that the politics in Rivers State is volatile, to say the least. Now, up to now anyway, we are yet to see other members of the public or members of political party obtaining same nomination form to run for governor. We are yet to see. So if he's going to be coming unopposed, we don't know. But what is certain is that news came up over the weekend that the APC have decided to go the path of direct primaries. They can go on the path of direct primaries, indirect primaries, or endorsement. But here, indirect primary sometimes give rise to what looks like endorsement, because it is more, it narrows down to just key stakeholders in the party. But when it comes to direct primary, it is organic. From the unit level to state level, stakeholders will have a say, that move from the unit level down to the state level. Now, what that means is that at the unit level, there's going to be Congress. At what level there's going to be, unit level there's going to be Congress. What level there's going to be Congress. The local government level there's going to be Congress. And then to now accumulate to state Congress. That is where we are going to now see delegates that are going to vote, for parties or for interested individuals vying for the governorship position, to represent the party now, not to represent the party in the general election. So what that means is that the direct primaries is going to pitch the governor as it were, whom stakeholders have picked from already. Is going to pitch him against other interested parties. So it is after we must have crossed that bridge, or after he must have crossed that bridge, we will now begin to talk about the governor versus the PDP, and then if he's going to win as we may expect.
All right, just like you rightly said, we are not really sure if it's going to win as we expect. Now, considering the conflict between him and Wike, prior to this time when he was campaigning, he had an agreement with Wike that he was going for just one term as a governor. Now he's coming out again for a second term, and he himself with Wike, they are having crisis. How will the federal Capital Territory Minister Nyesom Wike react to this development
in terms of going against his promise,
especially when
Wike
is constantly saying that this is a final betrayal. He's always saying that Fubara has betrayed him. How will he react to this new development?
Okay, first and foremost, I doubt it is written anywhere, especially for the public to see that Fubara, Simnalaye Fubara, the current governor as it is in Rivers State, had an agreement and promised or vowed that there is only a single tenure he was going to do. I doubt if there's any agreement like that. But if there is any like that, number one, is it constitutional? Is that recognized in the constitution that I am a political player somewhere against the will of the state, against the will of the people of Rivers State? The governor will have an agreement with a single individual, because whether you like it or not, the minister of the FCT have a single vote, just like you and I. So to me, constitutionally and even morally, does not hold water that they will, put aside the division of over 10 million Rivers people and then decide on between themselves over a cup of Spanish wine. That the governor is going to run only first tenure, no matter how good his governance, his leadership pattern is, then it must be just one. I doubt that there's anything like that. So, but let's assume that there's anything like that, and then the governor have decided to go against that agreement. Well, I would simply say that the battle line has been drawn. And then the person of the FCT minister, of course, media is awash with the infighting they've been having and resettlement that has been happening over time. So if that is going to have bearing in the election, that is practical. That is what we are going to see empirically. For the minister of the FCT, he has laid the gauntlet, saying that he is not going to support the governor again. But this is human being and decision making and change of mind, as the case may be, and what have you. So he may come up tomorrow and say, okay, he's throwing his weight behind him. There are even insinuations that there are certain projects in the state that he wants the governor to execute, that if he will execute them, he will get his support. If we are going to see that, we don't know. But as it is today, we are heading to the election. All parties should be focused on, getting the people behind them. Because we are not envisaging a situation where the outcome of this election, of the forthcoming election in 2027, is going to be decided by what we now refer in the street as godfatherism, imposition of candidates and so on. But it should be by the popular demand, it should be democracy in action. It should be by what the people decide they want. So that is what we want to see in 2027.
Supporters actually cite this projects, like they cite projects like the Calabari Road and then the Port Harcourt Ring Road that is slated to be completed October 2026 as a justification for his second term to come back. Can Fubara win re-election purely as infrastructure?
As a result of the infrastructure development?
Yes, if the state remains politically divided and the House of Assembly remain hostile.
Okay, so the political division of River State, how much does it have bearing on the division of River State? The political division of River State, if politicians who are a micro unit of Rivers people decide to be fighting themselves, dividing themselves, gallivanting everywhere with different ideas of how they want governance to look like River State, then somebody somewhere decide that he is about delivering dividend of democracy to the people that elected him, then how does what the opposition elements, the division, how does that have impact on the decision of people that are going to vote in the election that is coming up? I think that is one critical thing that we should be looking at, in this case. So for the Trans-Calabari Road, Ring Road around Port Harcourt and the other adjoining local government, if that would be enough for Sim Fubara to convince River people to vote for him, well, I don't know if my personal decision is going to surface here, but I will just try to say what I think is the general perception of River people from what I'm seeing. Now, you will hear in the media that Sim Fubara is God sent. Is that supposed to be true? Is that factual? Is that true? That while River people were sleeping, they got through Fubara from heaven and then anointed him in their midst, that this is going to be. Is that supposed to be true? Then we talk about delivery of dividend of democracy. Is there the level of hunger in the street of Port Harcourt now? How does it compare with what obtained in the time past, especially in the immediate past administration? the level of infrastructural development, if you are talking about Trans-Calabar Road and the Ring Road, the level of this development that we are talking about now, how does it measure with what Amechi did, with what Wike did, as far the perception of Rivers people is concerned? Before we begin to say if it is those two key projects that is going to lead to, the what is it called now? The people, making sure that they queue behind Fubara re-election. making sure that they queue behind the Fubara re-election. Now remember that the Trans-Calabar Road was not started by this administration, and then the Ring Road was flagged off by the current FCT minister. There are people in the street of Port Harcourt that are actually attributing these two projects as the brainchild of the FCT minister. So for Fubara, I think he need to, looking at this, he need to do more than talking about Trans-Calabar Road that was started that went far in the tenure of his predecessor, and then the Ring Road that have the coloration of the immediate past governor, and even governors before him, because I heard that Ring Road was conceived in the 80s. And finally, the current minister of the FCT decided to put late on the table for him that try and make sure this project is executed. So if you are talking about his own signature project, I cannot even refer the Ring Road and the Trans-Calabar Road as a signature project, because they are more or less not his ideas. He is actually executing the ideas of other persons, other governors before him. So he should concentrate, he should go beyond rather the Ring Road and the Trans-Calabar Road, and do what Rivers people can hold on to more beyond these two key projects, if he wants Rivers people to really queue behind him.
Thank you so much, Vincent. Let's turn our attention to Plateau State. The video that has been escalating and going viral online about armies aiding or escorting militias in a particular community where a priest's house was destroyed and so many others' lives were lost in the process. Now with these soldiers that were deployed to this community to protect lives and properties, that's what we know our forces for, to protect lives and properties. But in this scenario, the reverse is the case. They are now the one protecting the militias, protecting the bandits, protecting the Boko Haram. Now, how do these soldiers or this military come out to defend what they are being accused of? How do they now tell the public, convince the public that this thing that they are being accused of is not false? It's false.
Okay, first and foremost, we can look at our military and the other security institutions as a product of our democracy. Now, what that simply means is that they are actually for everyone and for no one, if I should say it in the voice of Buhari, our late former president. Now, coming out to say, okay, our military is providing cover, as the case may be now, for the militias in Plateau State, some communities in Plateau State, can that really be false? Can it be true? If I am a member of a particular sect or a particular community or sub-community in Plateau State where there is continued issues of insecurity, especially being perpetrated on the citizens of that state. Now, how do you define me as being a militia if you see the military or security apparatus of the state around me? How do you define me to be a militia or Fulani militia in this case? I think that is one question. Because I don't know if a militia is written on the face of anyone. For you to see a group of people with Nigerian army with a group of people, and then you begin to tag them that the army is with this militia. Then the other thing is this issue of the priest house or church that was destroyed.
Yeah.
Then are we trying to say that? Is there evidence in support that while that was going on by these elements, the Nigerian military, the members of Nigerian military were with them? Is that what they are trying to say? If that can be verified, if that can be factual, then to me, it is something that is very, very unfortunate. Now, there has been rumors of this kind of situation over time and across different states, especially in northern Nigeria. But the army continue to deny, their involvement with the militias, the extremists, whether it's Boko Haram, Fulani elders that are perpetrating mayhem on people's farmland across the landscape. They have always come up to deny this. Now, until we are able to produce evidence that this is now factual, then that is where we can now really begin to hold our military to account. But as it is today, it's looking more or less like a rumor. Because number one, if you see somebody with me, on a military attire, how do you verify? Were you able to? Was there a true confession? We can even have a situation where some persons are caught and then they declare false information about themselves. So what I'm trying to say in essence is that those that are trying to bring forward this allegation, the burden should be on them to prove if actually the people that are being accused are actually members of the Nigerian army, and if they are able to, and it is found to be truth, then it's unfortunate.
All right, so you said this report is actually false. Now, will you also say that the report of the president when he visited the scene in Plateau State on Easter Day, where the Christians were being killed on Easter Day by this same bandits, will you also say that the president's visit there was also a force? Because when the president got there, he promised to donate 5,000 CCTV AI surveillance cameras for these villagers. The president made that promise. So will you say that this promise was a viable technical solution, or is a political will where the president is using it as his political campaign?
Okay, first and foremost, I want to correct a notion. I never said that the report emanating from the residents of that particular part of Plateau State, I never said it is false. What I'm trying to say is that we should be careful about the news, the information we feed to the public. Let there be verifiable. We should be having facts.
Okay.
That's what I'm trying to say there. Then in terms of the visit of the president, supplying a promise to bring CCTV camera, and then you are trying to ask me if the president is just simply playing to the gallery. Well, first and foremost, the president, as it is an individual that have conscience, that have a that is carrying hold of office, that certain things are expected of him. Now, if he come by himself and then decide to make such a pledge or such promises, then we should be able to hold him to account for such. So we should be expecting that in no distant time, these facilities that we hate, that will help Plateau State and its people to subdue insecurity, it should make them available. So, and then until then, this is Nigeria. Then it remains, just a vague promise. It remains just a handwriting on the wall.
All right, thank you so much. That's it for today's edition of State of the Matters. Many thanks, Vincent, for joining us. It's a pleasure to have you join us.
It's always a pleasure, Casey. Thank you very much.
All right, and to you, our amazing viewers, for tuning in. I am Casitoni, reminding you to stay informed and stay ahead. And do well to join us next time for more breaking news across Nigeria. Do have a beautiful day.